Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're already part of the Sprinkle Squad. I'm so happy to see you again, and hopefully if you are part of the Sprinkle Squad and have your notifications on, you saw my community post from last week that, where I said that I wasn't going to be able to upload last week. It was a bit of a crazy week, and actually this is the second time I'm doing this particular voiceover because of that. And so last week, I decided, well, first of all, for this build, I wanted to do something smaller, something I could get out more quickly, so I could go ahead and get something out since I didn't already have a build ready to go. And this was like last Tuesday, I think, and literally, of course, this took me a lot longer than I expected it. I mean, that's kind of the story of my life, but I did want to do this cute little mid-century, and I think it turned out really well. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and it's already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you'd like to download it under my ID, Spicensprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to see it written out. And so basically, my week last week, I think I've mentioned in another video that we've been working on a lot of landscaping in around like our whole yard, our front and our backyard, and it's taking a whole lot of time, and it's honestly super exhausting. So far I'm really happy with the way it's turning out, but basically last week I made this like on Tuesday, and it took me longer than I expected, so I couldn't get it out in time to be posted on Tuesday. So I was like, that's okay, like on Wednesday I'll get it done. And so I did that. I exported it. I had to go run errands. I came back and I was like, great, it should be exported. I'll put it up on the channel and then I can go do my yard work or whatever I need to do. And for some reason, it didn't export properly. I don't know why. It was just missing part of it. Like, I don't know why it didn't render, but I was like, okay, I guess I'll try again. Maybe something happened, because it really didn't tell me why it didn't do what it was supposed to do. So anyways, I exported it, I went about my business, like did the yard work, and then the next day, so this is I guess Thursday now, I was like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get it out, and it turns out, again, it didn't export properly. So I literally tried like 3 different times, restarted my computer, did all the things, and I literally went and exported it, and while I was trying to export it Thursday night, or I think Wednesday, whatever day it was, I actually ended up going outside to do the yard work, and literally the last shrub we were planting, it's almost 9 o'clock at night, okay? Like, we were literally working until it was dark out. The last plant we were gonna do, all of a sudden we were digging and we hit water. So it was dark, it was late, we were so worried that actually we hit like a water line or something. It was horrible, and like, we were so worried about that. And so obviously we got a bit distracted. Like Friday we were dealing with that, had a plumber come out. Luckily, we didn't actually hit anything. It turns out I think one of our sprinklers that's in the flower bed, I guess, is leaking or something and creating an underground reservoir of water. So luckily nothing like really catastrophic is going on, but it was a little bit, scary there for a minute. So it was just a weird week. So I had like just so much going on. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to post and tell everybody I'm not getting anything out this week because apparently the universe is telling me it's not going to happen. And anyways, so, fast forward to this week, I literally was actually recording, I guess 2 days ago. I was like, let me go ahead. It was like late. I was like, I'll get some recording done, get ahead. Like, this will be good. And I literally am doing a recording for the new like clutter kitchen kit. And of course, I start with the kitchen, the whole point of this build that I had started, and it apparently, my recording software ran out of room or something on my hard drive and stopped recording, and I didn't realize it. So it didn't record like anything I did. So it was just, it was just one of those weeks where like the technology, nothing was like happening the way it should have. But don't worry, that's been fixed too. So we are now redoing this voiceover since I did it a week ago. And like I was talking about when I was going to upload it, and obviously that wouldn't make any sense anymore because things have changed. So we're redoing it. So fingers crossed, I'm going to export this and it's going to go out and it'll be up on the channel tonight. That is my goal. So fingers crossed, that's it. And maybe that's why it wasn't exporting properly, is because of some disk space issue that I didn't know was going on. But anyway, so if you're keeping up with just, I guess, my life and my posts on the community tab, that's kind of what's going on with me. So like I said, luckily nothing catastrophic, but it was a bit concerning that we had water underground, and we were just so worried about it. But and apologies, my voice sounds awful. My allergies are so bothering me, so I'm just like, I don't know, I'm going through it right now. I'm fine, but just, it's all good. I think it's all of the yard work. I've just been outside too much and my body can't handle it. Like, it's too many allergens. But anyways, for this actual build, like I said, I was hoping that it was going to be a quick build, but it did take a little bit longer than I anticipated, which is not shocking for me. But I really wanted to do this cute little mini mid-century kind of thing going on. So I was really torn between doing like green tones and orange tones, because I feel like both of those are very classic mid-century, at least for part of it. I think part of the mid-century era did a lot of those kind of more earthy tones, and then it shifted into those really bright like teal pink, because I feel like you see like both versions of mid-century. So this one leans more into those earthy tones, and I will say the kitchen took me a while to do. There was something about it. I think it's honestly the medium wall height was bothering me a little bit, and I was like, oh, I kind of want some windows, but things just weren't fitting quite right. And then the colors, I don't know, were bothering me a little bit. So I ended up swapping some of the coloration in here, and I think that helped a whole lot, to be honest. And just trying to figure out exactly what I wanted it to look like in here. We did get like a full dining table in here, and of course we had to use the conversation lounge pit thing in there for the living space, because I thought it would just be so adorable and cute. And we actually do end up using part of that space for an office area. And as I was building this, it basically evolved into this sim is probably an artist. So it kind of started when I was doing the office area. I added in an easel, and then while I was doing, I think, the bedroom or something, I was like, I should put the pottery wheel in here. Like, maybe they do pottery out on their back porch. And so that's kind of how it came to be that this sim is probably into art of some kind. And of course, if you download it, you can do whatever you want with it, change it, to fit whatever your sim actually has going on and whatever they do for work. And I think swapping out for this darker tile, this is actually one of those newer base game tiles we got, which honestly I really like. I think it looked really lovely in here and just gave it a little more warmth and dimension, if that makes sense. It felt a little bit samey, because I felt like the floor tile matched the chairs, which matched like the tile, which matched the appliances, and it was just a little bit too much, at least I felt like, for this build. And so just adding these details, and also that Sputnik light we got, oh my goodness, with the sleek bathroom kit. I mean, honestly, it's probably why I decided to do this. I love those lights so much. I honestly would love one for my own dining room, like one of the big ones. And actually, I wish we had more of them. Like, Sims, if you're listening, give me some more of those lights. Like, I would love that. I mean, imagine having one over like a long dining table. That would be so cute. And I forgot, the other day I was building and I was thinking of some other stuff I wish we had in the game. And of course now I can't remember, probably just because it's been a long like week and a half for me. I probably just can't even remember, but just adding in clutter here. I will say that, so the hanging herb thing I put on the wall, I was thinking, since it was a wall item, that your sim would still be able to cook on that counter. However, when I play tested it, that did not work out. So I ended up having to move the herbs to the other side. So what's on the gallery works, and it's fixed, I think, in the screenshots as well. Like I say, I think because this was last week and I just can't remember. But I felt like the living room space was a little bit large, which is why I kind of cut part of it off to do a little office. And I also tried to include a computer in all of my builds, just because I feel like they're so useful for your Sims. And I will say, the new businesses and hobbies, this couch that I have right here along with its matching chair, I really, really liked for this build. But there was something about, I think, the wood color that I just couldn't make sense. Like, it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't look quite right for me, so I ended up swapping it out. Although I really do want to use that couch in the future. I feel like it would have matched really well. And of course I tried to use this really cool like open fireplace. I feel like a lot of mid-century homes that I've seen have that kind of thing. I ended up moving it over into the opposite corner and actually swapping it out for that other businesses and hobbies. I was about to call it a chimney, a fireplace. And I also tried to use some of our newer items for this particular build. So I know that the game has a lot of items that work really well for mid-century, I feel like, but I was trying to use ones that maybe I haven't used before, since this isn't my first mid-century build, because that honestly is a style that I really do like, actually. I thought about doing that like for my own living room, but I ended up not. That's like a whole nother story, but I do really enjoy that. And I was thinking here for the living room space, I used that basement TV cabinet thing that we got with it. Now it's not functional in terms of a TV, which is why I used one of the frame TVs above it. So it's like, it's, art, and maybe like the idea being that they use that TV cabinet as their TV, but they don't. They actually use the frame TV, so it's almost just like an illusion. I felt like really looked nice here, and of course I had to add in some paneling, which I think worked out really well. And then back there you can see kind of where we're going to add in the office space there. We do end up moving the plants as well. I kind of like them, but I ended up using that as a space for an easel, because I was trying to, again, add some stuff for your sim to actually do. I figured, they might also be into gardening, but I didn't add any gardening things, although I think you would have space kind of on that walkway around the house would be a good place to actually put some gardening pots, especially since they're covered with the the roof awning thing I kind of did, so you could actually plant year round and still be able to harvest all of that. And then using this really adorable bookcase, so I kind of forget that we have that. So I know that we have had one that looks like that, but it has like a green or orange trim on it, if you know what I'm talking about. And then somewhere along the line we got this one, which has a bunch of different swatches on it, which I very much appreciate because I do like it, but I feel like the ones we had were very limited and didn't really fit a lot of builds. And it also, I think, had like a piggy bank on the top. Like, I feel like just for general clutter, it felt a little random to kind of just have around your house to like have a piggy bank here. And of course I ended up using that new beautiful gorgeous sleek bathroom plant there because I just thought it looked so cute. And like I said, I feel like maybe they would garden just because of the amount of plants I end up putting in here. And I tried to avoid using this bed just because, like I said, I was trying to do something a little bit different, but it is hard not to use this bed. So I do end up using it, but I do end up using it just in this like beige white swatch and then bringing in colors elsewhere in here. And I will say it was kind of funny when I was filming this. I did the bedroom and then I immediately, for whatever reason, decided to go outside and finish that pottery area that I was talking about that I created and like just the back patio, while basically just pretending the bathroom and that closet I've got right there don't even exist. I don't know what happened. I like went outside and was decorating and I was like, wait, there's still a bathroom and a closet to decorate? Like, why did I just like go outside for no reason? I think I was just really excited about the pottery area, and I do end up covering the pottery area as well so that your sim can do that in any kind of weather and nothing's gonna get hit by lightning and all of that kind of good stuff. And I honestly love the Get Famous furniture in here as well. I think worked really well. And I will say I did end up putting like this little reading nook corner in here, and I kind of created that, I don't know what you'd call it, almost terrarium plant thing where you would maybe assume there would be like a chimney is what I feel like would be, but it was such a skinny area. I thought, just putting plants in there would be really nice, and I didn't want to block that corner of the room because I felt like the whole point is so that Judah could actually like see it, if that makes sense. So I just end up putting the Secret Sanctuary record player over there so your Sims have, music, that kind of thing. Although I feel like in The Sims having a record player or something that plays music in their bedroom is a little obnoxious because for some reason I feel like they like to turn it on and then they leave it on and then they try to go to bed and then they're like, wait, I can't sleep. And it's because they left the music on. I don't know. I wish they would like turn it off when they'd go to bed. Or you'd have like one of your other Sims come in the room and turn it on while they're trying to sleep and then they wake up. And I don't know, is it just me? Or are my Sims just that chaotic that they just can't figure out how to sleep without having the music on? So hopefully that doesn't cause an issue for your Sims. And like I said, for this pottery area, I did a covered area so that you shouldn't have any issues with weather and things like that. And then but what I ended up doing was taking the island living like roof, the flat windows that you can, I think were originally meant kind of to put on like decks, things like that, so you could like see down into the water, but I end up putting them on the roof so your Sims still get like light, and I feel like, you know, it's not as dark and all of that kind of stuff. Like on your patio, you can still almost like a, not a sunroof. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah, maybe. Anyways, a skylight. That's what I'm looking for. A skylight, not a sunroof. Skylight over this space. And I think that helps a lot. And if you are looking for that item, if you open up Live Edit, debug, and use Island Living, that's actually where you would find that. And for this space, I really wanted it to have like a maker studio space feel, you know, so I ended up adding in some counters and putting in some shelving on that wall. I figured maybe as they finished their pottery, maybe they put it on the wall. So I ended up again going into Live Edit Debug for the Businesses and Hobbies pack and pulling out some made ceramics and putting it up there to kind of fill it out. Of course, if you want to download it and delete those out, like if your Sim's actually going to sell stuff and you don't want to sell those things because your Sim didn't make it, of course, feel free to do so. And I did end up putting a sink out here just because I feel like it matches. However, I have a feeling it may cause issues for people if your Sim decides that they want to wash their hands or do dishes out here all the time, which I think is kind of funny that they do that. I understand that we can change stuff to be kitchen or bathroom sinks in the game, you know, which helps a little bit. However, like for a sink like this, that's almost like, don't really use it. Like, it's not close to anything, so why use it? But they'll be like deciding, they're in the kitchen, they want to wash dishes, and then they'll come all the way out here just to wash dishes or wash their hands or something. So if it does bother you, you can take it out and replace it with just a counter or something or some shelving. But I don't know, I just really like the look, but usually I try to avoid it. I just decided, I don't know, I'm gonna do it anyways. And I'll go ahead and apologize now. I ended up using a Journey 2x2 item here. I used the table here from Journey 2x2 because I just felt like it looks so good here. I try not to use a whole lot of those items just because I know it's a very controversial pack. Not everybody has it. Actually, I think a lot of people don't have it, but there are a few items in it I do like, especially the lamps, like the hanging lamps that we got with that pack. They look really interesting, so I kind of like using those sometimes, but I try to use it sparingly. But I just thought this table looked really nice. Of course, if you download it and don't have the pack, you can just replace it with, you know, something different if you feel like it. And like I said, you could add in some gardening stuff out here too, which I think would work out really well with this covered area. And then I thought, you know, we'd add a little bit of seating out here in the front. And again, I don't know why I decided to do the rest of the exterior when I still needed to do the interior. And I decided to use this as a closet. Originally, I was going to use it as like a half bath for this space, but it just didn't work out in terms of trying to put a door there through the living room. The way I set up the living room wasn't going to work out super well. Also, since it is just a one bedroom, I figured that's okay. We'll just have the one bathroom. And in real life, having the bathroom through the bedroom is a little annoying. But I feel like it really is a real thing that happens. I mean, I had an apartment that did that, which, you know, means if you have people over, they have to go through your bedroom to get to your bathroom. And it's not ideal, but, you know, it's real life, I feel like. So I just kind of make this little dressing area for your Sim. Of course, if you would like to take this out and replace it for a different kind of space, feel free to do so. I don't usually put closets in my builds just because I feel like they don't get a whole lot of use, if that makes sense. Like your Sim, there's not a whole lot for your Sim to do in there. Like you could swap it out maybe for a vanity or something like that, or some sort of crafting room or whatever you want it to be. But, you know, that doesn't hurt my feelings, but I just thought it'd be really cute to actually include a nice walk-in closet here. And of course, using a few of the items from our new sleek bathroom kit. I still can't believe how many kits we've gotten lately, which, oh my gosh, by the way, I do have a build coming out using that kitchen clutter kit. I love it so much. Be sure to let me know how you feel about our new kits. I haven't used the Golden Ages one yet because I'm not a huge cast person, but be sure to let me know how you feel about them. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.